Welcome to the Safing live stream. Thank you for already being here and waiting here. I see Innovator Dev, I see Gavin, so many people already here. We are on time today as well, even though Daniel had a last minute idea how to fix the microphone. I hope all is well. I hope we did not fix the microphone in trying to fix it. But let us know in the chats. Oh, Trio, welcome. First time I see you, I guess. And Innovative Dev, yeah. But you're very active on the Discord. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for joining us. It has been an exciting 5 weeks. 5 weeks?
Since when?
Like since we released 1.1, I guess. Was this in June or was it July? Yeah, you guys know. See, the time flies by. Currently 1.3.6 is released for Portmaster. A lot of stuff has happened, has been included, and the topic for today is recording history because the last feature we dropped this week.
Yeah, this week on Stable.
This week on Stable was the history module. And so
which we're trying to call network history.
Sorry, the network history, which you're trying to call network history. Yeah, but see, on the new 1.4, which is in beta, where it's a dashboard, it is called network history. So you're sort of winning that one, I guess, at least somewhat.
At least for right now.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been calling it the history module internally for the last 2 years at least. So, but yeah. I think it just sounds weird because, yeah.
I don't know, but see,
trying to give meaningful words.
That is so true. But it is a module. You can disable it, and it has to do with network history.
And I recently found out that actually the setting that enables SPN is called SPN module. Because SPN is a bit more difficult because we have multiple settings. We have the SPN module setting and the use SPN setting, because one activates the whole thing and the other just flips the switch if an app uses it or not. We don't need that for the history module because the code is always there because it's part of the network monitoring system. So we just need to flip the switch where the data goes.
Yeah.
We don't have to activate a full system, which for the SPN we have to do. But maybe one day we'll actually switch that and make that easier.
Yeah. So some behind the scenes things.
Okay.
But to catch up, Trio, thank you for supporting our work. He on the YouTube chat said that he has been using Portmaster for 2 years. Yeah. We don't sometimes, while in the middle of it, don't realize how long Portmaster has been out as well,
Yeah, but 2 years ago, that was a very different Portmaster.
Yeah. No, you are one of the ones who know about the network rating, which we don't talk about anymore. Which has been...
I don't know what you mean.
Which has been, like, with every change we do, is something where we're still, like, it is legacy. We are telling people for the longest time now that it's
you're making
deprecated.
Me worse,
I'm not. Nobody
now
knows
everyone will be, what is this feature talking about? Oh, we do find it.
It is deprecated. We are not like in it. Is it? Yeah, it might be broken. We're not testing it. We aren't.
That's true. No.
But Mike is here as well. I wanted to shout out Mike as well. He's on the Discord and said we're live. Yes, and I'm glad that you're here as well. I guess you're up early. I hope you're well. But nice to see you too. Gavin also said woohoo. I guess our audio as well. Nobody wrote something about the audio, so Trio, very different. Yes, yeah, so different. Screenshots of the old Portmaster is so interesting for me to see as well. And Soul Rainer. I just started using the app and love it. Thank you. Yeah. Portmaster for network rather than one device though. Yeah, future project. What you're talking about, and I guess you're, I think I see it for the first time. If not so, I'm sorry. So Rainer, but I think we talked about this in past live streams as well. For like a network thing where you can protect your whole family, full on like configuring the whole network, we have ideas, and we would call this probably Portmaster 2.0. So not this year, absolutely not this year, probably not next year.
So yeah, so it is technically possible.
Yes.
But the question for us is does it make sense? Isn't there other stuff in that area that does a way better job than Portmaster can do? Because Portmaster is built for a different purpose.
Yeah.
It's built for having knowledge about an application. So the question is really, does it make sense for us to go there? But yeah, it's technically possible, but it would of course require more work, and we are not sure yet if it's part of what we are going to go to and where we think Portmaster will have the most impact. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. But it's, we don't know. I think that's basically the main thing.
Yeah.
But it has been an idea, especially like because we had parents reach out to us and they're like, well, I'd love to sort of like remotely be able to manage all like the devices on my network, because we have like a situation where you have multiple laptops and they go to multiple places and stuff like that. So we see the use case, we understand it. We're both parents as well, and so it's an interesting thing if you're like running a whole network for your family, you know.
But that's also kind of very different use case, and we see the need there for that, but we're not sure. We do want to go in that direction though. So managing multiple devices in one way or another is something that we are planning to do. We don't know how this will look like, because there's this weird like crossover between managing a home network and a business. So the question is, will kind of this still be Portmaster, or will there be a separate product using the same technology that is built for managing a network of devices? So but right now we're focusing on Portmaster Desktop, and everything else is very fun to talk about, is in the future, and I'd love to start working on it right now, but it just doesn't make sense and we're not there yet. So I
love how you say focus on Portmaster Desktop. I feel like this is something I sort of pushed for, because implicitly we know that the Android app is still in beta, and we would have loved to finish it, but and I think people on the Discord will have seen that, like a lot has like come together. We skipped 1.2 because some of the bug fixes we merged already into 1.3 and stuff like that. We're moving fairly, like getting stuff out now.
Yeah.
And so we're sort of like focusing on that and try to not divert resources too much into different things. But I'm quickly, do you want to add something, or have you already read the...
No, not yet.
Okay, try out. I have an SPN question. I recently rebought SPN after about a year, but I'm having an issue where my home node constantly disconnects. Oh yeah, we have heard this. I have no clue. It is not happening to me, so I have no clue. I do anything that's network intensive, such as watching a video or playing a game. See, I'm constantly watching, like constantly not, but like I have SPN open all the time, and videos are not an issue for me, even at 4K. And with the new, like I'm paying for YouTube Premium, maybe I'm outing myself here a bit, but I hate ads, and apparently YouTube is blocking people who block ads now. So right now you're watching on YouTube. I hope YouTube is not blocking you anytime soon. But yeah, no, watching it in 4K. Have not had issues. If you do, I don't want to say like, it doesn't matter. I guess the information we will need would be a little bit more like I would not put it into a YouTube chat. Let's leave it at that. Maybe send in a debug info with some information. We are looking into, and you have been upgrading SPN and killing weak performing servers, increasing the bandwidth for better ones. I mean, we're so off track now from the main topic, but maybe we're already in the conversation. I like the conversation we're having. Maybe we talk about the history module later.
Yeah. Just kind of to technically go at this real quick. So one thing that could cause this is that if your internet uplink is not fast enough, that could cause issues where, so what happens is not actually probably that the server disconnects you, but we've had issues in the past where the connection to the SPN just hangs itself. So what we started doing is that Portmaster pings its home node, I think every 10 seconds or so. And that request is prioritized within the protocol. So that should always go through, except if there's some kind of network issue. And it might be that there's an issue on the network that it's too clogged with all the data that it won't go through, which it shouldn't. So we are planning an upgrade on the protocol that will further improve the flowing of data. Too many TCP requests should not be a problem because your ISP does not see that anymore. As soon as you have your first connection open to the SPN, the ISP only sees that one single connection. That's all they see. Everything goes over that connection, is multiplexed with our protocol. Every connection is encrypted separately. But
for the ISP, it's only one?
Yeah, for the ISP, it's only one connection, so that shouldn't be a problem at all. Unless, of course, they're like trying to, they might be actively, your ISP might be killing that connection because they think it's, I don't know what, malicious thing or something, which I haven't seen before. But yeah, please send in the debug info. If there's disconnect, there should be something in the logs about it.
It should. Can you say, maybe then for the debug info, it's like how long is the data, the stuff kept in it? Because if it happened yesterday, I can tell you, you don't need to.
Yeah, please collect the debug info right after it happened.
Yeah, and if you cannot send it right away, you can copy it into a text file and send it like that. I don't like getting text files, I can tell you all, but it's okay. We will manage. And of course, it helps us as well understand what the issues are in the network. So please send the stuff over. Do you want to address quickly before Innovative Dev's question leads us nicely back into the main topic?
Great.
Can you please now answer the UDP question that Trio had?
Oh yeah, so the Portmaster protocol.
Maybe add, because we say that we support UDP. How do we support UDP and how aren't we not supporting? Because this is two things there a little bit as well. You can have a UDP connection.
Yeah, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So the SPN protocol.
Yes.
Can tunnel pretty much it can support the protocols that Portmaster can on a port basis. So that's mostly TCP and UDP. And they can go over the network. Of course, TCP and UDP are very different. But the thing with the SPN protocol is that it does very high security encryption. That means that every packet must go through and the packet order must stay the same. So TCP is just the easiest option there because TCP is built for exactly that. And then we can put our stuff on that. We can use UDP-based protocols, but they are the protocols that ensure these two things too, which is, for example, KCP or DCCP. These are protocols built on top of UDP to ensure that. But for security, we need every packet in the correct order because that's how we get our amazing encryption done. Without that, it's really hard to do great encryption. Within the SPN, UDP is actually reliable, and everything dropping should happen outside of it. And that's also why we're working on improving the flow control of the SPN protocol, because that will then more nicely blend in with UDP.
So,
and also get rid of all the other hangings that happen here and there with the SPN.
yeah, so all your connections to and within the SPN are TCP. But if you have like a live stream or something open, a video, which is UDP, the connection on the exit node to that server, that can be UDP. This is how we support UDP. But then as soon as it enters and gets like encrypted for the transfer within the SPN, that's when it is TCP. That's why when you look at your connections, everything is TCP going out. If you like sniff on a network or something, this is all TCP, but the SPN supports UDP for connections sort of like leaving it, but not within. This is the difference. And maybe just why is it important? You vaguely said stuff like for the encryption. Can you maybe elaborate a little bit there as well?
So, for example, what we do with encryption is that for once the keys are exchanged, and they're exchanged regularly. So if you have a long-running connection, it will rekey the encryption. Also, the encryption key iterates with every packet. So the key evolves with the connection in order to guarantee that nobody can, if there's an issue with one packet, all the previous ones are safe. And then we rekey, so all the future ones are safe. So that's called perfect forward security, and also perfect backward security. So we have both in order to protect everything that goes over the SPN as good as possible.
Yeah. And Treya was saying, and I think you already said you understand, but like that we could give the option for UDP as well, and this is just not supported. Like this would mean a separate network, and this, who knows, maybe in the future, maybe for the user it looks like one, but it would have to be two. And this is just not, it would look so different, and it's just not the SPN. And I think that from a branding and from an understanding from a user perspective, we already have to have like, and even not to call you out, but like we have somebody on the Discord who frequently like says VPN instead of SPN for stuff that we do, and love you all. But because of stuff like this, it is so different, because how we do encryption, because how we do packet handling, and because like we supported UDP, but the way it's handled throughout the network is so different. It's we cannot just have two things next to each other like that. Yeah. But I understand. You see, that is great, and this is the reason why we do those live things as well, because those interactions via chat, I so understand. It's hard to do via chat, and I know I frequently write, please don't say VPN, because it is different, but I feel like having you here, seeing me while I'm saying it, I guess you understand it better, and it's just like, it truly is not, and it's so hard to explain, and I guess we should like maybe have somebody who's a better communicator. And as you know, like most of our videos are fairly old, except the live streams, because it's so hard to sort of like write a video and do it and stuff like that. And others are so much better at this.
One last remark about the UDP versus TCP. So if one or the other is better, it highly depends on the situation and the environment and everything. So and for the SPN use case, doesn't matter, because connection is already there, and the only thing that matters is the actual physical connection you have to your provider, or the physical connections between the servers themselves, because the connection is already there, and connections made through the network are zero hop, so you don't have to go back and forth to every server to create a connection. The first packet can go through to the destination, and theoretically this can be faster than a normal connection in theory, but for that to become true, we need to have a much faster network.
And you said zero hop, it's zero round.
Zero round trip, zero RTT, zero round trip. So connections through the SPN can be built zero round trip.
Yeah.
So the first packet already has the data and goes through to the very end, which in most cases means it's a TLS handshake. So you'll still need 2 round trips. But that's encryption. That's the limitation of encryption.
Yeah.
And we require encryption, definitely. Yeah. No way we can do without it. But that's encryption from your browser.
Yeah.
That's not us anymore. Our encryption zero round trip, your browser's encryption is sometimes actually with TLS 1.3 and session tickets, your browser's encryption also with your zero round trip. So theoretically, you can have zero round trip connections with data in the first packet over the SPN today. Yeah. If everything works well together.
Trio is asking for plans on building out the SPN network in center of the US.
We're trying. We every provider we buy all the locations we have in the US, but there are seemingly not many providers hosting nodes there.
With good connectivity.
The coasts are easy. Middle is a bit hard.
Especially with good connectivity. We are killing nodes with
we had one in
weak performances.
Was it in Atlanta or something? No, not Atlanta. I think we have one there now.
Yeah.
We had one somewhere in Texas, I think, but it wasn't good.
Yeah, exactly. So we're looking into it.
Yeah.
We're evaluating it.
We're trying to improve continuity.
Exactly. But Trio information like that, where you want nodes, where you require nodes, where stuff, that is interesting to us. This is stuff where we are we don't know where our users actually are. We are not tracking it in any way. So for us, people telling us where they would want it is how we are sort of prioritizing where to look for. And we know that Asia has been a very sore spot for the longest time. And so we have a new Japan node, and we're looking into some other Asian countries as well. Europe and North America still is has much more nodes. We know, and it because
that's because that's
people
where
are always
the internet
asking.
lives.
That's where people are asking for as well.
And that's where all the high speed stuff is.
Yeah, it's easy for us. It's easy for us to get them there as well. It's easy for us to find stuff. So, but if you have recommendations as well, we actually have a contact. I think he reached out to us. Yeah, from South America, somebody reached out and gave us great information in regards to nodes and stuff we can do there. Somebody from Australia. So if you are somebody who has knowledge and maybe works in IT as well, reach out. We love to get your input, and if you would want to run a community node yourself, get in touch as well.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be cool.
I wrote today as well that we are everything in regards to community nodes is manual at the moment. There is nothing automated, so you will have to get in touch and talk in advance. Please don't just do stuff.
Always great to chat first.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true. Nebraska used to be the home of the telephone. Yeah, now there's nothing yet. You're right. Trio is right. Going, I think we can continue back to the old question of Innovate to Dev up here. Sorry, just...
So for anyone not yet having seen the history module, sorry, I did it myself. The network history. It's in beta for 2 days now. Stable for 2 days now. And we're already working on the improvements actually for the beta guys out there. Version 1.4 is already in beta with another great new improvement, new feature that you'll immediately see when you open the UI. But we also already added a feature where Portmaster will auto-delete old history. So that's already in beta and testing. And Innovative asked about a feature where you could delete single connections from the history. I think that's definitely possible. I'm not sure if that will work if the connection is still live, because any updates will be again written to the database.
Yeah.
So
You would have to wait till Portmaster considers it ended. History, exactly. Because Innovative just had the issue where he's like, sometimes stuff is not in history. Are you thinking about it? If it's still in RAM, then it might write it into the history afterwards as well. Yeah, so you would have to potentially wait 10 minutes. There's but this is not a feature yet.
Not a feature
overall,
yet.
It's not a feature yet. It's an interesting question. To be honest, I have not thought about it.
But definitely makes sense to to be able to delete single entries.
Absolutely.
Out of there. Unless you're a hacker and trying to cover your tracks, then
of course.
Well,
use a cool file system where the file system itself does version tracking for you.
That won't save you with the database, because it'll just, of course, you can get back to full database file, but I'm not sure like how that will perform on a database being open all the time.
I don't know either. BTRFS, just because like recently I had issues with my Linux install and I'm on Fedora, so BTRFS is the file system there, and of course there's versioning included in the file system. But yeah, so you were talking about the feature that we haven't considered. Maybe we'll do it. Not sure how soon. If you are doing stuff you don't want recorded, you can disable the history per application. You can enable it per application. So maybe don't enable it for stuff you don't want recorded. This is always what I'm like, and this is the reason why we're not considering it a privacy feature, because we're like, well, it's recording your stuff. We understand it's good for investigation. You want to sort of like maybe get to know your application better and understand if it is privacy respecting or not. But it's like you are. it's a trade. You can give up some privacy here to gain more here. Yeah, but again, it's not sending it to us. It's all local.
All local.
Local.
We don't want your data.
We don't want it. But if you don't want your data either to be stored, delete it. Or don't record it in the first place.
Yeah. So you can just disable collecting history for some time and then enable again. It won't just delete everything as soon as you turn it off. You'll have to click clear on either globally for everything or on the app page. So, but that's a really cool idea to remove single connections. We will definitely think about that and how we can do this.
Absolutely. So Innovative Dev just said, active connections he understands. So remove traces of shady stuff. Friends do on your PC. Absolutely.
This is a typical asking for a friend question. We understand
absolutely.
Totally.
Who is downloading all those Linux ISOs, I have been downloading quite a lot recently. And I have been using torrents because it's just like
faster.
It is. It sometimes just is, depending on the distro. And Fedora, of course, does not even offer torrent download. So I think they do not. Well,
they just use Red Hat servers.
Yeah, they most likely do. Gavin or Trio, I so agree. We should try to stop and kill mass surveillance or surveillance capitalism, of course, is super off-road. But it's not.
You help it.
I know. I don't want to endorse the book too much because it has. I had issues with it as well. Don't want to go too deep into it.
But it's interesting.
It is interesting, and it gives you
thought literature.
Exactly, it gives you vocabulary for some of that stuff, and to talk about it and to understand it, what at least some people think out there, and then you can make up your own mind and talk about it in better ways. Great. Okay. So appreciate it, Trio, and also appreciate that you, after using Portmaster, joined the SPN and are supporting our mission. So cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you a lot. Mike, torrents are superior lately, super fast in the US. Yeah, the cool thing about torrents is they get faster the more people want it, you know? That's just the nature of it. If you have viral, typically, like with regular servers in the olden before days, if a lot of people want the thing, it gets slower. But with torrents, if more people want the thing, it gets faster, you know? I keep on saying that the internet is evolving somehow into a weird 90s situation where chat rooms will be the new thing, like Discord. And inserted ads will get blocked everywhere. And then we are going back to banner ads, and I hope that pop-ups don't make a comeback. But who knows, you know?
We'll see how that goes with the web integrity protection. If like, isn't that the thing from like where like Google is now proposing, where they have like specialized kind of domains that are verified, and then extensions get turned off on that web page. Yeah, there's some freaky stuff going on there, like kind of DRM for websites.
Oh yeah, that I heard about. I have not looked into it too much.
Weird.
Yeah. No, it is. See, I tried to maybe a little tidbit there. My experiment is over again, but I tried to use the KDE browser Falcon because they apparently don't use Gecko, and they don't use Chromium, and they don't use WebKit. I think it's WebKit based, but like, you know, Safari uses WebKit. Of course, Firefox uses Gecko, and what's the Chromium engine again?
It's not no Blink. Was Blink the other thing?
No, I think it might be Blink. Whatever. And so I was like, oh yeah, the open internet. I want to sort of like be in the low percentage tier of people who are not with the big ones. Partly why I still use Firefox so much, and it's my default browser, because like everything is Chromium now, and I sort of like want to keep the web open. And stuff like DRM, stuff like that, it's why I want to do stuff like that. And I recently, I think it was the Vergecast, I don't know. But somewhere I heard that a mantra that Microsoft used to have about open source technology is embrace it, evolve it, and extinguish it. So get the open standard, evolve it into the direction you want it, and then kill it so that nobody else can use it. And I'm like, oh no, this is basically what Google at the moment tries to do with Chromium stuff. So, and I know we sort of guilty here as well, using Electron for Portmaster, but we want to move away. We want to, and in the meantime, you're already reading up.
Yeah, I'm trying to kind of filter out here. So hey, first name, last name. Thanks. You said you hope you can replace Simple Wall with Portmaster soon. Kind of follow-up question, like, what do you think is missing? Or what is your issue there? That will be interesting for us.
That's true.
To get some feedback there.
Yeah.
Innovative asked, what can we expect in the next week about the history stuff? Only fixes, or are there some other big things coming related to history? Well, there's one thing left that we definitely need for the history. And then there will be a next feature that builds on top of that. So I already said what's already in beta right now is that you can auto-delete old history. That's really important, kind of to keep the database size in
automatically
workable limits.
Yeah. Although storage, is very, like, I know workable, it does not just include storage, but even SSD storage has gotten way cheaper now. I mean, yeah, don't want to get into all of that, but
also what I've been thinking about regarding, like, we'll probably go in that direction if we see that our performance issues. We'll probably start things like giving the option to exclude connections from the history that are only on your device, because they're really interesting to maybe block, but having them in the history is much more worthless than kind of makes sense. But right now everything's in there. That's stuff we're thinking about. One thing that's definitely coming is currently you cannot get search the history using a time range. You can't say I'm looking for connections between this and this date. Right now nobody feels the pain yet because your history is probably just a couple days old. In a couple of weeks that will be interesting to have. So we're working on that one. And the next thing that builds directly on that will be the reports. Reports meaning that now that we have history data of what happened in the last couple of weeks on your device, we meaning the software running on your device, not us here, we can generate reports that give you insights into what kind of is happening on a bigger scale on your device. So we can go in and look at what countries did you most connect to, what are the data centers you most connect to, kind of help you to analyze your own usage, how much data flowed where, for example, and really classics like what is the most blocked connection, what is the most blocked application, what is an application we've seen the first time this week that we've never seen before. That's really interesting. What is a domain we've never seen before? What is the domain with the most errors? That's also an indication for malware and stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff we can pull out of the history and we're probably going to start with weekly reports where it'll generate the report for you and notify you every week. And then you'll be able kind of to read that report whenever you have time.
I know you started.
So that's kind of just nothing of that is already kind of specified and fixed. No promises here. And I was just trying to give you an idea of what is coming. So that's the next big feature.
So feedback is welcome. Input now is great. Tell us what you want to see
in the reports.
Definitely. That would be cool. Great. And as a reminder, I know you started off with it, but everything is local. Every time you say we, and I know you said it.
Yeah, it makes it easier for talking.
I know. Yeah. Just wanted to make clear again at the end, everything you just said, everything would be done locally. To add some other tidbit there as well, again, like Portmaster is not scanning your device. So Portmaster does not sort of like see... streaming software is back up again. Portmaster does not see all the applications, or it's not looking for all the applications you have installed. When it says like makes a first connection, it's Portmaster sees the application for the first time because it makes a connection. It sees it in the network stack.
I was just laughing at a comment.
Okay. You can of course get into the comment if you want.
No, it was a fun and snarky comment from Niladiv. He said we can do a partnership with Microsoft, so we can send the history to the Azure cloud to receive a subscription SPN. Not sure if they'll actually hop on that, but that of course is a joke. I'm never gonna do that.
It is, or at least I hope. It looks like a joke, and we know Innovate Dev from the Discord. So
at least he said don't at me, or I think it does. So at least it's not getting a commission.
Yeah. But Innovative Dev, definitely somebody who is one of the Windows people on the Discord. But as I say, I'm sort of I'm using Windows, of course, for gaming as well, because sadly gaming on Linux Oh, still has so many issues. Wow. Trio. Don't go that way. Trio on YouTube just said good idea to innovate this idea. So in regards to sharing data for discounts, no.
You know that's the cool thing about being open source. that people can just check what's true and what isn't.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You don't have to fear that someone is actually going to believe this.
Yeah, I hope so.
For longer than a week or so.
I hope so. Okay. Well then. So yeah, you're right. The reports is an idea that's and works. The sort of like auto delete after some time, and the sort of like search for a time period. That's all stuff.
Yeah.
That's happening. Yeah. In addition to, of course, some other bug fixes and things which are going on.
Yeah. So next week's, of course, means somewhere between 3 and 30.
Again?
Because Meredith said what's coming in the next week or weeks. And I said weeks means somewhere between 3 and 30.
Yeah, good call. Yeah, we are not making any promises in regards to when this will actually happen. Yeah. You're right.
So the pricing page says that the report thing is coming in 2023. So we're confident that will happen in 2023. So we're a bit cautious on our progress because we want to give everything we do with dedication it requires and not just rush through and create a shitty product.
Yeah.
So
the reason why so much stuff is coming out right now has been because it has been boiling along for like half a year.
Time.
When we released 1.1, I saw that on the Discord. I made the post late last year for 1.0, and I'm like, wait, what? We have worked for this for half a year already, and now we're doing 1.1.
Yeah, we did lots of bug fixes in Spring, also lots of stuff in the SPN.
Yeah.
Spring was a lot of SPN stuff.
That's so true. Yeah. And those were all under the hood improvement stuff that was released with dot releases in the meantime.
Yeah.
So 1.0 dot whatever, I think we were at 20 or 14 at least, 1.0.14, something like that.
Quite some.
Some of them. So there have been a lot of updates, but everything under the hood and not so exciting, I'd say.
Yeah, we're starting shipping UI features again.
Yeah, we're starting shipping UI features. And I feel like this will be the theme for the summer. And then we will go into doing more backend stuff for autumn again. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
It has been an exciting summer so far, and it is going to continue for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, as you already mentioned, the dashboard is already in beta. There is also some glimpses of the bandwidth monitoring in there as well.
That's actually the next thing that we'll be doing before the reports is kind of figuring out how to give you an insight into bandwidth and how to display that. Yeah, stuff like that. So some fun ideas there.
Yeah, and I think today I read something about like all those graphs. If you have a lot of connections, the graphs actually are hurting performance as well. So maybe displaying does not always mean graphs. We will see.
Yeah, we will see. We'll see what we need to do to make it faster and if that's worth it. But yeah, graphs are awesome. We love graphs.
That's so true. No, they give you just a gut feeling for what's going on.
That's so important.
Yeah, it is. It is, yeah.
So if you want to see more graphs, go to the network activity view and start using the group by function.
Yeah.
So, and it will give you a graph for every group.
Yeah.
And that's really nice. Just do a group by app or a group by countries, stuff like that. You can use multiple groupings. You can group by app and country. Also fun one. And it'll give you a graph for every of that groups. And you can really quickly see what is going on where. Really cool.
So true.
Yeah. So because we just talked about bandwidth, these graphs are all active connection count. There, as of right now, there is no graph that shows bandwidth. Everything's active connection count. We're gonna put some deep thought into how to communicate which is which. This is gonna be fun in a very different way. But yeah, we still have work to do there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Deep thoughts. Yeah. I guess some walking, talking, thinking stuff through. No, absolutely.
Drawing. Sketching.
It has been a while. Yeah, no, absolutely. And again, if you have thoughts, feelings, suggestions, we're open for it. I love I feel like the activity on the Discord has increased over the last couple of weeks. I love it. I sort of like sharing stuff and talking through situations and thoughts about it. I recently, like today, dropped my thoughts about the current dashboard and things I'm thinking through there. Please comment. It's a little bit further up now because a conversation about other things started off afterwards, which is great as well. But if you have ideas, let us know. And part of the live stream is to let you know what we are right now thinking about, because stuff changes and sometimes development has been very long. And so when we finish something, going back to it and opening it up is sometimes not useful for us because we're sort of like moving from one to the next and then like go in circles to sort of like improve everything. Because like if we would never touch SPN for half a year, it would not be performing as we would want it to. So or if we would not touch the dashboard and stuff like that. So everything needs some retouching now and then. So and at the moment we're thinking about the dashboard, what's going on there, and partly the history and stuff and so on. So if you have suggestions, let us know. And I guess maybe notifications and prompting is
you said the word. We have to look into that.
Yeah, we have to look into that.
Well, notifications are changing a bit with 1.4.
Yes.
I think for the better, really.
Logan already said that he doesn't.
Yeah, there are opinions.
There always are opinions.
But I really think it's a lot better.
Yeah. There are almost 1,000 people on the Discord. There are always opinions.
And prompting, we still have to figure out where to put that. But yeah. So
for the moment, just as a sort of like tidbit, as it is in the beta, this is the current thing, but we are thinking about, so it will stay where it is, but we are thinking about touching this and maybe redoing some of it. The reason why we have it is because people coming over from other firewalls are used to it, but the reason why it has not been touched in so long is we are not using it that much.
That, and also it's the problem is that we really focus on doing cross-platform stuff, and we're only on Windows and Linux right now. Only, which is still a good chunk. But we hope to be on Mac soon. Well, soon, 2 or 3 years or so. Or we'll see.
Don't say soon.
Currently, sorry, I'm very sorry. Currently, it's not on the active roadmap, so
no.
It's on the future roadmap.
Yeah.
But that's why we went for using the system notifications for prompting, and that was a quick thing, which is good. But for doing really good prompting, we would have to build a separate component for every OS to actually give a lot of information and give you all the stuff you need there. So yeah, we're not sure
Not
yet
ideal.
how to best go about it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So maybe only enable it for the applications you actually want it for, and if you have applications you want to enable anyway, just change that application to enable or disable by default.
Yeah, there's and there's, I think if you see a prompt, there's a drop down and you can go to the setting for that application and change.
That you can. Yes. Yeah, you're right.
That's what I said.
Yeah. It's a multi-step process. It's not a one-click action. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess
there's
a wrap up.
Gavin asked about a Portmaster Gecko build. So
okay. Yeah.
Yes. Not very soon, probably. What you can do to help us test right now is you can enable developer mode and you can load up the UI in Firefox and tell us about your experience.
It works. Spoiler alert.
It should work.
It does.
Yeah.
It in some cases, if you have the browser already running, it's less resource heavy. So yeah, but you're right. Do we have a wiki page on how to do that? Does the bot know how to do that?
I have no idea. Probably.
Oh, see,
We'll see.
I should have. I would ask Esko if he's around, but
we'll find out. Yeah, Esko would know definitely.
I think he would. Of course, as he was saying, he's not part of the safing team, but he knows so much and he's so active on Discord that every time something comes up, I'm like, oh, Esko will probably know that. And it's so cool. I have not seen anything I don't know. There are some people, some of you folks who I know more about just because of the interactions, and some are super new to, still very, and it's all well, of course, we're private, it's a privacy thing we're doing here. I so respect and understand that some people don't want to let us know which country they're from or state or something. So not pushing Esko. You're great. Cool. Okay. So Gecko, yeah, run it in Firefox. We're not sure if there is not a wiki page. It can be implemented super quickly. Ask us on the Discord, and we will put a link into it if you cannot find it. Mm-hmm. And maybe the page just appeared out of thin air right then and there. If you could not find it and we couldn't either, why not do a PWA app then too? PWA? Progressive web app.
I think, it could be an option. I just think that people will be confused about it because there will be an entry in the start menu for the normal app and the PWA one, and they will behave differently to some extent.
We already have a folder on Windows, I think.
Yeah, maybe we can create a way that people that really want it have a path to do it, but we're not gonna endorse it.
Yeah,
that's gonna that's gonna be confusing.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. Try out, I think it does. I recently at least started getting the same install button on some stuff on Firefox. I clicked it. As I said, I'm on Fedora GNOME. It did not do anything. So for all my PWAs, I'm using a variety and plethora of different Chromium-based browsers to split everything off. And the horrible thing I realized recently was that Edge on on Fedora actually looks good, and that I think after getting rid of all the Microsoft buttons, that I sort of actually enjoy using Edge.
You're rude, dude.
I know, but I flat sealed it as much as I could, and Portmaster blocked everything except a couple of connections, so I'm feeling safe, but still, I'm sort of enjoying using Edge in this very restricted ways. Yeah, okay.
They probably poisoned it.
Maybe LibreWolf. Yeah, I don't know. Like the reason, I mean, we should wrap up, but Trio just to go in there. LibreWolf. The reason why I don't like LibreWolf is because it's behind, and it has to be. Like Firefox pushes an update, and then they take that update, and then they look through it, and then they push an update as well. That's just the nature of it, and this is what I don't like. It's especially for security updates, but also for some feature updates. If you like LibreWolf and if you're fine with it, that's all well. Cool. But for me, security updates as soon as possible. This is the reason why I'm on Firefox. But as I mentioned, I have a plethora of different browsers installed. I upgraded my machine to 32 gigs half a year ago for that reason.
I think a year ago you questioned my request for 32 gigs.
I did, and I think it's still valid. Like the HP Dev 1 it's for developers, and it comes with 16 gigs. That's the only option. No. And I'm running on an HP Dev 1. Okay. This live stream is being done through an HP Dev 1.
One last remark here. Trivero suggests using Microsoft Azure because they have an IO allocation. Last I checked, the big providers, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, were hellish expensive on traffic. Now that's pretty much what we do, traffic.
That's what we pay for.
Yeah, that's what we primarily pay for. That's not as good as an option, but I'll just quickly check how that looks like right now. Maybe there actually is something they have to offer that fits us. We'll see. Yeah.
We'll see. But if you have other ideas, and even those recommendations are good for us to know as well. At some points, we want to be in every data center, also because of how the SPN works. Because ideally, your exit node, of course, it should be the third hop then, is in the same data center as the
server you're going to.
Exactly.
That would be amazing.
Because then, like, if the web page is already on Azure and the exit node is on Azure, like Microsoft sees that connection anyway, but it will be SPN encrypted into data center, where it will be decrypted anyway. So that would be ideal, of course, like with 3 hops then, and a whole different situation there. Good. Let's do. I mean, there's somebody still typing and stuff. I'm sorry. We will clean things up on the Discord. If you have any further questions, we will be on the Discord, but I'd like to sort of like end the live stream. It has been very lovely today.
Yeah.
I so enjoy those. We will be back here in 2 weeks. Again, thank you for all the people who are so super active on the Discord.
Yeah.
Thank you for all the new Portmaster Plus subscribers. I've seen, like, in the past when I've seen people buying Portmaster Supporter, I'm like, oh, they made a mistake. I'm getting an email asking why they don't have access to the SPN soon. Every time I saw a transaction with 30 euros. But now with Portmaster Plus, there are more people coming in for Portmaster Plus. We appreciate that a lot. I hope you read the blog post regarding that understanding. I hope you understand our situation in that regard as well. Thank you all for your support and your help. Any last words from you?
No, other than if you want to support us, subscribe to either Portmaster Plus or Pro, whatever fits your needs. And we would love to continue to make awesome stuff. So, yeah.
So true. So true. One last bit, if I may. If we would already have an iOS developer, I would have so much liked to get the Revio TOTP app, a fork of it, because they just sold out, and I'm like, I want to love to continue using that app. If you have any great iOS TOTP suggestions, leave them in the comments, please. I need an alternative.
So I think the story is they killed the app, and you would like to fork it and just publish it.
Exactly. Yeah. If somebody else is doing that, let me know. I used to support Revio on GitHub sponsors. I stopped that now, but if there's a follow-up project from somebody else, you have my money monthly. Okay. Have a good one.
Great. See you.
Bye.